80. Once again, here are your hosts, Marty Pay and Clay Kerner.
We are back with Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio, News Talk 1180, and this is Marty Pay, and our guest by phone is the candidate for governor of the American Independent Party, Chelene Nightingale. Chelene, a couple more questions I have for you here. That one in particular that mutual friend of ours asked me to ask you, and I couldn't find this on any of your material. What about welfare reform?
Yeah, I'm not for a nanny state at all. I actually exploring over time. It's not something we could do right away, but is eliminating income tax. Now, look, I am for people who, we have people with disabilities. There are people that obviously need help, and I am for that. But there are people that can get out and work, and I believe that part of the problem that we have in our country is just the fact that we have this big government. Big government, what they want is for us to depend on them. Once you can depend on big government, then they can control you.
Now, what would you replace income tax with? I
really would like to see people. We were built on being a free market, a capitalist society, sound money principles, and limited government, and that's what I would like to get back to. I can't believe that anybody is happy being on welfare.
Sure.
And government was supposed to protect our pursuit of happiness, and I believe that we need to get back to that. And part of the way that we need to get back to that, I know people say, "Well, I can't find a job." I know that unemployment is really high, and that is because we have high taxes and high regulations. Government is making it very difficult for business owners, and they're leaving. And in fact, in manufacture in our own state, over 25% have left in the last decade. In this year alone, over 85 major businesses have left the state. So, we definitely need to do work. It's definitely not something that would happen overnight, but I'd like to see people get back to work, and I mean legal Americans. I am for advocating right away, and this wouldn't, adversely affect Americans, but is ending public benefits for illegal aliens.
You're talking about Prop 187, right?
Prop 187. The co-author of Prop 187, Barbara Coe, has actually endorsed my campaign. Her and I are actually very good friends. I just spoke to her a week or two ago about reopening Prop 187. I'm already acting as if I'm in office. That's my mindset, because that's immediately what I want to do is reopen Prop 187. I believe what happened was judicial activism, which we must stop in this state. I know Thomas Jefferson was for impeaching judges and starting all over again. I advocate that as well.
I like that idea.
But we do have on the books 834B, which the same activist judge took off. He has suspended it. He didn't remove the law. It's still in the books, but he has put an injunction that we can't utilize that law. Well, no, not under my governorship. I mean, that's going back into effect.
Now, Prop 187 is no health benefits, no funds for illegal aliens, basically.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Correct. How do you feel about Prop 23 that's coming up?
Oh, I definitely support it. As a voter, I'm voting yes on that. I know I was the first gubernatorial candidate. In fact, I think right now I'm probably the only gubernatorial candidate who put on our website to suspend, I would abolish AB 32. And for those who might not know, AB 32 is the Global Warming Solutions Act that Schwarzenegger signed into law. It will, when it goes into effect, it will kill business in this state. In fact, experts cite that we will not only lose over $1 billion in state revenue, but 1.1 million jobs. And that is, and that's not even just the businesses that will go out of business, by the way. I know our campaign manager, Danny Raskin, her family owns the largest second gunite company in the state, and they've said if AB 32 goes into effect, because of what you have to, what this will do is trucks, semi trucks, air conditioning companies, they will have to go by certain regulations. That means putting new technology, and it will cost. Basically, it's just going to cost thousands and millions of dollars for businesses to become, AB 32 qualified, and we'll put businesses out.
Yeah, and it's going to be
businesses will go out.
They
can't afford this.
No, they can't, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in San Diego this weekend, because I'm not sure the Republican Party is going to support yes on 23.
Well, I don't know about the Republican Party, but I know for a fact, and I heard it with I listened to the interviews, so with my own ears, I heard Meg Whitman state she does not support Prop 23. So, hopefully that's not the rest of the Republican Party. But that, again, going back to what we were discussing earlier, as conservatives, we support the middle class. Mm-hmm. And this is going to kill the middle class. Oh, this is why it's very important that when we go to the polls, we don't look at the initials next to people's names. Mm-hmm. Find out which one is the constitutionalist, which one supports or is part of the middle class. That is who we should be voting for. It's hard for me to imagine people in the Republican Party that would not support Prop 23. I do know there's several groups that are standing outside the convention this weekend holding yes on Prop 23 signs. But again, the big money is going into opposing Prop 23. And again, the middle class do not have the money. So we have to be grassroots. We have to go out. We have to instruct ourselves. I don't know what the website is. Maybe one of your listeners can call in, but there is a good website out there that's in support of Prop 23 that has really great facts and statistics that you can use. And you have to send this link to everybody that you know in the state of California, because this happened with Prop 14. Prop 14, Prop 14 actually was the prop that eliminated other parties from being in the elections. And the money that went into opposing Prop 14 was huge money. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was the biggest backer of Prop 14. Prop 14, they used the words freedom and choice, and unfortunately that fooled people. The opposing side did not have the money to go against it. So in essence, it ended up losing, and I just hope the same thing doesn't happen with Prop 23.
How do you feel about Prop 25?
I'm sorry, I don't know which one Prop 25 is. You'll have to tell me.
That's the, all we need is a simple majority to pass a budget.
You know what,
State
I need
budget?
to look into that. I don't want to give an answer till I read it. I haven't looked at that. Frankly, I have to be honest, I've been really looking at Prop 23 because that's something that's in my platform, and I've been focused so much on our own campaign that I don't know, but I will look into it.
Okay.
And then
that's okay.
put a position
problem.
on my Facebook.
But just, I have to tell you from my standpoint, that's scary for me. I wake up at night with the scary prospect of, since we now have an open primary, of now having two Democrats on the...
Exactly.
Yeah, two Democrats, and then having a budget being passed by a simple majority, which means you've got, in the case we have going right now, we have a Democratic Party that's in control of Sacramento, and they'd pass the budget on a simple majority. And do you think there'd be a lot of tax cuts in that budget? No, under no circumstance would there be.
You know what? Well, that's what they want.
Sure.
It's communism.
Yes.
When people, I speak to legal immigrants all the time that have come from communist countries. We have people on our own staff, by the way. We have a volunteer staff. Nobody's paid. But on our volunteer staff, we have legal immigrants that have escaped communist countries as well. And they say it's here. It's here. And if we don't do something different now, I think Chuck Baldwin, who I voted for president, was my first non-Republican. I voted for president in 2008. Was Chuck Baldwin of the Constitution Party, and he just wrote here within the last week that we're already living in a Soviet-style, nation.
Now I want to go back to something you said. We're jumping around a little bit here, but I want to get as much time with you as we possibly can. You said something about when it came to welfare. In that conversation, you said we should eliminate an income tax. What would we do in place of an income tax?
Well, state income tax. What I like are tariffs. Mm-hmm. Tariffs are what our founding fathers advocated. That is the kind of tax that we need. Overburdening big government taxes is not. Plus, our taxes are being completely mismanaged with big government spending. So I advocate, or I'm exploring, I shall say, a fair tax or flat tax of 10% for the state.
Okay, and I'm going to jump back to another issue.
Okay.
In your literature, and I love your literature, by the way. I like your website. In fact, why don't you give your website just in case anybody wants to take a look at your another look at your campaign?
Yes, absolutely. It's nightingaleforgovernor.com, and Nightingale is spelled NIGHTINGALE for FOR, nightingaleforgovernor.com.
Okay. When you're talking about the economy, you made the comment when it came to water that I love, that people are more important than fish.
Yes. We have what I call environmental terrorism in our state, and it's not even just fish with the water. It's also owls. I am a Christian. I read the Bible, and, God made it very clear that we have dominion over animals. We are more important than animals. It doesn't mean that we don't take care of animals. We do. I don't believe any human being. I'm a pet owner. I have 2 cats running around. But when it comes to people's livelihood, when it comes to food, when it comes to the basic essentials, we need to reposition that. People are more important than fish. They're more important than owls. I will tell you a story. When I was in the Central Valley, and I found it hard to believe until I saw it with my own eyes. The timber industry isn't just in Northern California. We also had a thriving timber industry in Central Valley, and it's been decimated because of an owl.
Amazing.
And there are teenagers. Some people, when they graduate high school, they go to college. Some go into the military. Some start their own businesses. Some go into the service sector, and they try to get jobs. They try to get employment. Well, without a thriving timber industry in the Central Valley, and of course with no water, jobs are decimated. There's no employment. In fact, I know in some regions of the Central Valley we have the highest unemployment rate, very competitive to what they have back in Detroit. So there are teenagers that are roaming around the mountains, Oakhurst, Auberry area, Toll House area, homeless.
Oh, amazing. Chelene, can I hold you through one more break?
Yes, absolutely.